Divorced for 8 years. My ex-husband contacted me for the first time. He sent 3 boxes of apples. I didn't even bother to look, and gave them straight to my neighbor across the hall. At PM that night, the neighbor knocked on my door. Her face was pale as a ghost. Look for yourself, see what's hidden underneath. After seeing what was inside, I collapsed on the spot. It's been 8 years since the divorce. Zhou Kai and I were like parallel lines meant to never intersect. I raised my son, Zhou Hang, living a quiet, almost rigidly peaceful life in the city. I thought the rest of my life would pass like this. Until that afternoon. Hello, is this Miss Lincoln? Yes, you have 3 boxes of apples. Sent from your hometown. I left them at your door. My hometown? My parents passed away long ago. I have no relatives left there. Who could it be? My heart skipped a beat. Zhou Kai, other than him. I couldn't think of anyone else. A physical sense of revulsion churned in my stomach. I picked up my son and rushed home. Nobody is allowed to ruin the life we have now. When I arrived at my door, 3 cardboard boxes were indeed blocking the way. There was no sender information, but I knew it was from him. Mom. What's this? Just some apples from someone. I kicked the boxes aside. Are we not eating them? We don't eat things from unknown sources. We can't keep them after dinner. The doorbell rang. It was Mrs. Lee from across the hall. She is a warm-hearted retired teacher who usually took good care of my son and me. Xiaoling, are those boxes of apples outside yours? Yes, Mrs. Lee. They look quite fresh. Why haven't you brought them inside? A relative sent them. There are too many, we can't finish them. Mrs. Lee, if you don't mind, you can take them all. It'd be nice to share with the neighbors too. Mrs. Lee's eyes lit up. Oh my. How could I take them all? It's fine, they'll just rot if left there. I helped Mrs. Lee carry the 3 boxes into her apartment. I felt as if a heavy stone had been lifted off my chest. At 9:30 p.m., as I was getting ready for bed, a sudden, frantic, and terrified knocking came from the door. Xiaoling. Xiaoling, quickly, open the door. Open the door. My heart tightened. It was so late. What happened to her? Mrs. Lee, what's wrong? Look for yourself. Look at what's under there. Look at what's hidden underneath. My heart plummeted. I followed her to the boxes. When I saw what was inside clearly, my legs gave out. Those weren't apples. It was stacks upon stacks of 100 yuan bills, a glaring, piercing red. A blood-stained men's watch was lying quietly among the piles of cash. I recognized that watch. It belonged to Zhou Kai. I don't even know how I managed to get back to my apartment. I only remember Mrs. Lee repeatedly muttering, "What a sin." Ah, call the police. Call the police? My mind was in complete chaos. How could I call them? Tell them I received a huge sum of untraceable blood money from my ex-husband? What would the police think of me? Would they believe I had nothing to do with this? Zhou Kai and I divorced 8 years ago because of his gambling and domestic abuse. Over these 8 years, I moved to a new city, changed my phone number, and tried desperately to erase him from my life completely. I thought I had succeeded. But now, using this extreme method, he forced his way back into my life. The blood, the money, and that watch he never took off. Something happened to him. Something huge. Did he leave this money for me? Or was he framing me? What did he want me to do? Countless questions swirled in my head, like a swarm of buzzing FLIs, giving me a splitting headache. I forced myself to calm down. I took out my phone. After thinking it over, I didn't call the police. My eyes fell on those 3 apple boxes again. No, I couldn't leave them here. The hallway cameras would have recorded me taking them inside. I stuffed everything into black trash bags. At M. Like a thief in the night. I took the 3 garbage bags, making 3 separate trips to the downstairs dumpster. That area was a blind spot for the cameras. I slumped onto the sofa. I knew this ordeal wouldn't just end because I threw those things away. Shokai had tossed this ticking time bomb to me, and I was already forced into the game. I had to know exactly what happened to him. I picked up my phone and scrolled to a number. Shokai's younger sister, Sho Minute, when I filed for divorce. She was the only one who secretly slipped me 500 yuans and told me to run away. For 8 years, we had 0 contact. Right now, she was the only breakthrough I could find. The phone rang for a long time before someone answered. Hello? Who is this? It had been 8 years. Her voice hadn't changed much. Sho Min, it's me. The other end of the line instantly fell into a dead silence. It took a full half-minute before she spoke with an unbelievable, trembling voice. Sister-in-law? Is it you, sister-in-law? Why are you, my brother? I cut off her shock. Getting straight to the point. Sister-in-law, why? Why are you looking for my brother? Sho Min's tone grew even more tense, even tinged with a hint of fear. He contacted me. What? Sho Min's voice instantly spiked. Impossible. Why would he contact you? She abruptly stopped mid-sentence. What happened to him? Is he in some kind of trouble? Sho Min stayed silent. Sho Min, you must tell me. My tone involuntarily grew cold. He sent me something today. Something is very wrong. This mess might have already dragged me into it. If you still consider me your sister-in-law, and if you still care about Zhou Hang, tell me everything you know. Sister-in-law, what did you receive? 3 boxes of apples. I deliberately didn't mention the money, saying it was just apples. Sho Min muttered to herself, as if confirming something. Where exactly is he? I pressed her again. He's missing. He went missing 3 days ago. Our family is going crazy with worry. My mom already called the police 3 days ago, right before I received the apples. That means those things were shipped before he disappeared. Why is he missing? What has he been up to lately? Is he still gambling? Sho Min's voice was full of despair. Recently, I heard he was working for an out-of-town boss, running some underground casino. Apparently, he became a small-time leader. That boss is not a good person. I heard his hands are unclean. This time, it seems my brother crossed someone he shouldn't have. The night before he disappeared, he called me once. He was drunk, slurring his words and talking nonsense. He said he got his hands on a huge sum of money, enough to keep you and Zhou Hang set for the rest of your lives. A huge sum of money. That matched perfectly with what I received. What else did he say? He also said he was sorry to you. Sorry to Zhou Hang. He said he was too ashamed to ever face you two, but he already sent his compensation to you. Then the call dropped. By the next day, he was gone without a trace. That out-of-town boss disappeared with him too. Before your brother went missing, did he do anything particularly strange? Or leave any specific message? Yes, he said. He said if he didn't make it back, I had to pass on a message to you. What message? He said, beware of the one beside your pillow. Beware of the one beside your pillow? I was stunned. What did that mean? I divorced him ages ago. I didn't have anyone beside my pillow. Was this a warning to me? Or just the drunken ramblings of a dying man? Before I could think it through, Sho Min's next words plunged me into an icy abyss. Sister-in-law, you need to run. Take Zhou Hang and run away. Don't stay at home anymore, and don't come back to our hometown either. My brother, he isn't just missing. He killed someone. My hand shook, almost dropping the phone onto the floor. But my brain in that split second, became unprecedentedly clear. He sent me the blood money and his watch. Left me a baffling warning. Beware of the one beside your pillow. And then disappeared. This whole series of events had tightly bound me to a murderer. In the eyes of the police, I might be his accomplice, a person in the know, a harborer of stolen money, and in the eyes of the dead man's gang, I was probably the living treasure map he left behind, their only clue to retrieving that cash. Either way, my ending would be the same, death. If something happened to me, what would happen to my son? No, I couldn't just sit here and wait to die. Zhou Min's crying continued on the line. But I wasn't listening anymore. I have to go, I hung up decisively. My eyes swept across my cozy little home. This place was no longer safe. I had to leave immediately. I needed somewhere absolutely safe. Somewhere they would never expect me to go. My mind raced, flashing through faces of friends, co-workers. I opened my phone's contact list, my fingers scrolling down rapidly. Lin Feng, my senior from college, and the only man I had ever truly had feelings for. We hadn't contacted each other in almost 10 years. Only during the holidays, I'd receive a mass-sent greeting text from him. I never replied. I felt that my current life wasn't worthy of an elite lawyer like him, but right now, he was the only person I could think of who might be able to help me. He is a lawyer. He knows the law. He knows how to handle the worst-case scenarios. The phone rang for a long time, just when I was about to give up. It connected. Hello? Senior, it's me. Lincoln, the other end was silent for a moment. Lincoln, he sounded surprised. It's so late. Did something happen? I've run into some trouble. Very, very big trouble. My voice was calm, but I couldn't stop shaking. I need to leave this place. With my son. I don't know where else to go. Senior, can I come to your place? Asking that question took every ounce of strength I had left. Lin Feng was silent. Just as I was about to say, forget I asked. He spoke, send me your address. I'll book you the earliest flight or train ticket to Nanchang right now. When you arrive, I'll pick you up. Don't be afraid. And don't ask any questions. Just safety first. My tears finally fell. I covered my mouth to muffle my sobs. I hung up the phone and immediately texted him my address. Soon, he sent a screenshot of a high-speed rail booking. Early the next morning, after packing our things, I sat on the sofa reviewing everything. Why did Zhou Kai send the money to me? Was it for compensation? Or to frame me? And beware of the one beside your pillow. What did that mean? A warning to me, to remind me of my partner? But I don't have a partner. Could it mean that someone close to me is a hidden danger? I suddenly remembered something. Yesterday afternoon, when I went to school to pick up Zhou Hang, I felt like someone was watching me. At the time, I thought I was just imagining things and paid no mind. I shuddered, jumped up from the sofa, walked to the window, and looked downstairs. Right below my building, parked a van with no license plates. They had already found me, the 6:30 train. I couldn't wait for it anymore. I had to leave right now. I could only take the fire escape and leave through the underground garage. My car was parked on the B2 level. That was our only chance of survival. I walked into Zhou Hang's room and gently patted him awake. Hang, wake up. Let's play a game, okay? Zhou Hang looked at me groggily. Mom, it's still nighttime. It's a secret treasure hunt game. We have to sneak out quietly and not let anyone find us. Whoever reaches the treasure spot first wins. My son's eyes lit up. Kids simply have no resistance to games. Remember, starting now. We can't make a single sound. We have to walk like little cats. Okay, Zhou Hang nodded vigorously, his small face written with excitement. I took a deep breath and walked out the door. I didn't dare to look back at the home that had given me 8 years of peace. The stairwell was very long. Our footsteps echoed in the empty passage. Echo, just as we reached the landing between the first floor and B1. We suddenly heard the sound of a door opening below us. It was the door connecting the garage to the fire escape. I immediately pulled Zhou Hang into my arms. Heavy footsteps were approaching from below. They were walking up the stairs. And there was more than one person. What to do? Running upstairs was a dead end. Staying where we were meant we'd be discovered sooner or later. Just then, Zhou Hang, who was in my arms, suddenly shifted slightly. He pointed his little finger behind me. I turned around. At the bottom of the landing wall was a maintenance hatch. The door was slightly ajar. It looked like nobody had touched it in a long time. I nodded at Zhou Hang and mouthed to him, "Crawl in." Almost the instant we hid inside, those two men reached the exact spot we had just been standing. Why are these stairs so damn dark? Brother San said she must still be upstairs. Told us to just guard the stairs and the elevator. A woman dragging dead weight with her. Where could she possibly run? That money is no small amount. What was Kai thinking? Giving it all to an estranged ex-wife he hasn't seen in years? Who knows what he was thinking? Must be crazy. Let's just find her, grab the money, and bounce. This place gives me the creeps. They didn't stop and continued heading upstairs. Their footsteps gradually faded. I waited a full 10 minutes. Once I was sure they wouldn't come back down, we didn't dare waste another second. We dashed all the way down to the B2 parking lot. I started the car and rushed out of the garage. In the rearview mirror, I saw several figures sprint out from the direction of the main exit, yelling and shouting at my taillights. I floored the gas pedal. The car sped madly through the night. It was only after driving for over half an hour, making sure no car was tailing me, that I dared to slow down slightly. I pulled over to the side of the road and turned off the engine. Mom, did we win? Zhou Hang's voice carried a hint of a tremble. Even at his age, he must have realized that this wasn't some treasure hunt game. My heart felt like it was pierced by needles. Yes, we won. Hang is so brave. I took out my phone, wanting to call Lin Feng to tell him the plan had changed. But on the screen, several news notifications popped up. Vicious murder in the city. Police have identified the suspect. My fingertips went cold. I clicked on the article. The victim was named Wang Hu, the operator of an underground casino with a mafia background. He was found dead in a rental house in the suburbs, stabbed multiple times. There was massive blood loss and signs of a struggle at the scene. Based on the evidence, the police had preliminarily identified the suspect as Zhou Kai. Below the article, they attached an old ID photo of him. The report mentioned that a huge sum of Wang Hu's funds was missing. The police were currently pouring all efforts into hunting Zhou Kai down and urged citizens to provide any leads. This news fell upon me like an inescapable net, trapping me completely. Zhou Kai was now a nationally wanted murderer, and I, as his ex-wife, had just received a massive amount of dirty money from him. If the police discovered my escape tonight, I'd look guilty no matter what I said. Harboring and transferring stolen money, aiding a murderer. Any of these charges would be enough to ruin my life forever. I absolutely couldn't get caught. I couldn't drive this car anymore either. I had to ditch it. I restarted the engine and found a large truck parking lot nearby. I parked my car between a few massive trucks, ensuring it was hard to spot from the outside. Headlights faintly swept by in the distance. The hairs on my arms stood up. They had chased me down. The conversation I overheard in the stairwell echoed in my ears. Those men weren't cops. They were the mob show Kai crossed. Heartless, cold-blooded killers. I fumbled for my phone. As soon as the call connected, Lin Feng's steady voice came through. Lincoln. Where are you? Did something happen? I can't go to the train station anymore. Someone was watching my house. I almost got caught in the stairwell. They're coming for that money. They aren't cops. I'm at a truck parking lot outside the city now. I can't drive my car. There are cameras everywhere. Lin Feng was silent for a split second. His tone instantly became icy and sharp. Listen to me. Do exactly as I say. Make zero mistakes. First, take out your SIM card right now. Throw it away and never turn the phone on again. Second, toss the car keys under the driver's seat. Snap the dashcam memory card and throw it out. Third, walk 2 kilometers east. There's a black market minibus stop. You don't need an ID. It leaves at M for the Nanchang border. Fourth, do not look at any phone on the way. Do not speak to anyone. If someone approaches you, act deaf. But hang. I'll be waiting at the terminal stop. He cut me off, his tone leaving no room for argument. As long as you get there, I guarantee the two of you will be safe. Remember, do not trust anyone, especially those you thought were reliable. He hung up. I did exactly as told, holding Zhou Hang's hand, and slipped into the boundless night. It felt like there were footsteps following me the entire time. Whenever it got quiet, I could hear shoes scraping against the ground. I knew it wasn't my imagination. They were searching. What Zhou Kai sent wasn't apples. And it wasn't just money, it was a ticking time bomb. A bomb that tied me to a murderer, dirty money, and a mob hunt. And that phrase, beware of the one beside your pillow, stuck in my brain like a poisonous thorn. I had no husband. No lover. The person closest to me was Mrs. Lee. She checked on me daily and watched my kid. Thinking back to how pale her face was, making me look at the bottom of the box. Cold sweat broke out all over my back. Why would she, at exactly p.m., dig through an entire box of apples to the very bottom? What normal person digs a full box of apples to the bottom? Unless she already knew what was under there. Not far ahead, that dilapidated minibus wobbled toward me. I pulled Zhou Hang, and we sat in the very back row. As the bus started moving, I finally dared to exhale slightly. But the second I relaxed, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a man with his cap pulled very low, but the glow from his phone screen faintly illuminated a photo. The person in the photo was me. It was me picking up my son at the gate yesterday. The blood in my veins instantly froze. They had caught up to us. I pretended to sleep, my heart pounding wildly. Finally, the bus arrived at the stop. I dragged Zhou Hang off the bus. The moment we stepped off, the man suddenly blocked our path. Miss Lincoln. My whole body stiffened. Zhou Hang shrank behind me in terror. I didn't turn around, didn't answer, and just yanked my son into a sprint. Stop, the man roared, and immediately gave chase. Not far away, Lin Feng yelled at me, over here, run. Using every ounce of strength, I carried Zhou Hang and sprinted. diving into his car. The car tore away for several hundred meters. The man stood where he was, pulled out his phone and took pictures of our car. He got the license plate number. It's fine, Lin Feng's face was rock solid, his eyes fixed on the road ahead. They won't just let this go. Zhou Kai didn't mess with street thugs. This is a cross-provincial mafia syndicate. Wang Hu's murder wasn't random. It was mobsters robbing mobsters, and that money isn't just gambling stakes. It's their main money laundering ledger. How do you know? I looked into it. From the moment you called me, I had people dig into Zhou Kai and all the info on Wang Hu's underground casino. Zhou Kai isn't missing. He is being hunted. He killed Wang Hu and swallowed the dirty money. The only person he trusts, and the only one those people could track down, is you. So he deliberately set me up as a target. My heart turned ice cold. Not entirely. He sent that money to you, along with the bloody watch. To kill 3 birds with 1 stone, first, use the dirty money to draw the mob's attention, making them think you have all the cash. Second, by telling you to beware the one beside your pillow. He warned you there was a mole nearby. Third, he is atoning for his sins, using the most extreme and dangerous method to leave you a way out. The mole is Mrs. Li? My voice was hoarse. Lin Feng nodded. Exactly. She wasn't just casually bribed. From the very beginning, she was a spy planted beside you. By them, the car navigated a hidden mountain road. It's temporarily safe here. No cameras. And cell signals are weak. Now, tell me everything that happened, word for word. I took a deep breath and started from the beginning. 8 years ago, due to Zhou Kai's gambling and abuse, I left the marriage with nothing. I cut off ties with everyone we knew. For 8 years, I lived cautiously. I never dated and never got too close to anyone. Just me and my son, living a strict, quiet life. Until 3 days ago. 3 boxes of apples arrived at my door. I instantly knew they were from Zhou Kai. Out of sheer disgust, I gave them right to Mrs. Li. At PM, Mrs. Li pounded on my door, dragging me to see the apples. At the bottom were stacks of bright red cash and a blood-stained watch. I would recognize that watch even in death. When Zhou Kai used to beat me, he wore it as he slammed his fists into me over and over. Hearing this, Lin Feng's eyes darkened. Where are those things now? I didn't dare touch them. I was afraid of leaving fingerprints. I bagged all the money and the watch overnight and threw them in the neighborhood dumpster. When you threw them away, did anyone see you? No, it was a camera blind spot. That's not right, Lin Feng suddenly frowned. No matter how clean you threw it away, they still found your house. That means someone saw you throw it away with their own eyes. She isn't just an informant. She's their guide. The kindness you thought she had was all an act. She watched you leave, memorized your schedule. Knew what time you picked up your kid. Knew exactly who was in your house. And knew all your weaknesses. So, beware the one beside your pillow. Wasn't talking about a husband. Then where exactly is Zhou Kai now? Is he dead or alive? Lin Feng was silent for a few seconds, then spoke slowly. Someone saw that 3 days ago. Zhou Kai and Wang Hu met at that suburban house. Afterward, the house caught fire, leaving a charred body. The police initially assumed it was Wang Hu. But the DNA hasn't been completely matched yet. My pupils dilated in shock. Are you saying the dead person might not be Wang Hu? It's Zhou Kai? It's highly possible. He deliberately committed murder and arson, sent you the money, and left behind an unidentifiable burnt corpse, making everyone think he died. The mob thinks You have the money. And the police think he's dead. That way, he pulls a disappearing act, vanishing completely. I inhaled a sharp breath of cold air. Very low voices came from outside. It was the two men from the minibus. Brother San, they must be in here. Their car is parked right outside. Let's just go in and grab them. The woman is easy. If the kid cries, cover his mouth. Once we get the money, just get rid of them. End it once and for all. Get rid of them. Those words stabbed my heart like ice picks. They didn't just want the money. They wanted to kill us to silence us. Lin Feng glanced at me. Hide well. Don't make a sound. I'll rush out and distract them. Take the kid out the back window. Behind here is a hill. Run down. There's a village at the bottom. Once you reach people, you'll be safe. What about you? Don't worry about me. Keep yourself and your kid safe. I wanted to say something else, but a loud bang echoed outside. They were breaking down the door. Lin Feng hesitated no longer and charged right out. I'm over here. Come get me. Outside instantly descended into chaos. Curses, running footsteps, and sounds of a struggle blended together. I grabbed Zhou Hang and ran down the hill. The fighting behind us grew distant, but new footsteps were chasing us. They ran. Chased them. Just as I was about to reach the foot of the hill, a car suddenly sped over, blocking the middle of the road. It cut off our only escape route. The car door opened, and a man stepped out. He was huge. It was the brother San they had been talking about. Miss Lincoln. Keep running. Why stop? Where's the money? Where did Zhou Kai hide it? I don't have any money. My voice was shaking, but I feigned composure. I threw it away. I didn't take a single cent. I don't know where Zhou Kai is either. Whether he's dead or alive has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with you. Brother San sneered. He killed Boss Hu and swallowed 30 million. He only sent you a few crumbs. Where is the rest of it? You think I'll buy your act? 30 million? My body jolted. So the money under the apples was just the tip of the iceberg. I really don't know. My tears finally broke loose. I divorced him 8 years ago. Haven't spoken in 8 years. He suddenly sent those apples, and I gave them away without even looking. Gave them away? Brother San laughed mockingly. Do you think I'm stupid? That old woman already told us everything. You threw the money away in the middle of the night, thinking you could wipe your hands clean. If you don't tell me where the money is today, neither you nor your son will leave here alive. He slowly walked closer. The knife in his hand gleamed coldly in the moonlight. Zhou Hang burst into tears. Mom! I'm scared. Just as the blade was about to fall, police sirens erupted in the distance. Brother San's face drastically changed. Why are the cops here? I abruptly opened my eyes. Lin Feng was running down the hill, shouting into his phone, I'm down here. They are all here. It was Lin Feng. He had already called the police. He lured them away not just so I could escape, but to lead them directly into the police's trap. Police officers swarmed in from all directions, shouting, Freeze! Get down! Everyone get down! I collapsed onto the ground, holding Zhou Hang tight. The tears wouldn't stop flowing. We survived. We actually survived. By the time I finished my police statement, the sun was already up. The entire truth was peeled back layer by layer. Zhou Kai indeed wasn't dead. The charred corpse in the suburban house was Wang Hu. Zhou Kai murdered Wang Hu, stole the 30 million in dirty money, and intentionally set the house on fire, faking his own death. He sent me a small fraction of the money and the bloody watch. First, to warn me there was a mole by my side, and second, to divert the mob's attention to me, buying time for his own escape. After being arrested, Mrs. Li confessed everything. She had been bought by Wang Hu's men a year ago. Paid 100,000 yuans to monitor all my movements, and report them daily. The night I threw the money away, she followed me the entire time and immediately notified Brother San. And the phrase, "beware of the one beside your pillow," was finally clarified. Before his disappearance, Zhou Kai secretly snuck into my neighborhood and saw Mrs. Li meeting with a strange man. Passing on information, he knew I trusted her, but couldn't tell me directly. He could only use that cryptic phrase to warn me to be wary of those closest to me. That man, who was a gambler, an abuser, and a bastard his entire life, in his final moments, used the cunning schemes he was best at to protect me and our son just this once. A week later, the police issued a statement. Zhou Kai had been captured at the border. The 30 million in dirty money was fully recovered. He confessed to the murder, money laundering, and robbing the mob without hesitation. He was sentenced to death. When I heard the news, I felt nothing but peace. The 8-year nightmare was finally over. 3 months later, I took Zhou Hang and officially settled down in Nanchang. Lin Fang helped me find a job, found us a house, and arranged Hang's school transfer. He never said he liked me, never made a formal confession, but he appeared in our lives every single day, picking us up after school, eating meals with us. And whenever I felt afraid, he would firmly hold my hand.